the new COVID variant called Omicron, and how it can affect your holiday travel plans.
Surviving breast cancer often means marking important milestones with celebrations that take many shapes. Celebrate the person in your life who's battled and currently battling against breast cancer.
How authorities are cracking down on catalytic converter thefts. Update News starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Welcome to Update News. I'm Jonathan Schaefer.
And I'm Denise Villanes.
Scientists say it was just a matter of time. Now the first case of the Omicron variant of the coronavirus has been detected here in the U.S., right here in the Bay Area. Doctors say the person had recently traveled back to San Francisco from South Africa.
The Omicron variant was first detected in South Africa last week and is now in more than 20 countries worldwide. The race is on the hold its spread. If you're traveling for the holidays, you might want to be a bit more cautious. Reporter Adrian Soriano has the story.
Denise, traveling for the holidays is something many families around the Santa Clara County are looking forward to this year after not being able to do so during the lockdown last year. However, a new strain of COVID-19 could put a damper in those plans. The U.S. loosened travel restrictions. Now both domestic and international flights are expected to increase as the holidays get closer. But one resident says she is not excited to fly during the holidays anymore.
Now that we are kind of going back to a normal thing, it feels like traveling is just a big hassle now. The airports are a lot more full. Tickets, especially during Christmas, were skyrocketed.
A new COVID variant called Omicron, which scientists believe is highly contagious, was first reported in South Africa last week. It might make some travelers think twice.
Well, there's always going to be concerns. I mean, for multiple occasions. Obviously, the pandemic, we're still technically in a pandemic with the new updates that are happening, what's taking place in Africa.
One case of the Omicron variant has been reported in San Francisco. President Joe Biden took quick action, announcing travel restrictions for 8 South African countries.
I've decided that we're going to be cautious, make sure there's no travel to and from South Africa and 6 other countries in that region, and except for American citizens who are able to come back.
The president's chief medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, had this advice.
The single takeaway that the president emphasized is that this is something that we're concerned about, but absolutely should not panic about. We have a lot of tools at our disposal, and we will act and react according to when the data and the science come in, and we'll make our appropriate moves according to that.
Moderna, Pfizer and Biotech, and Johnson & Johnson have announced they are working to improve their vaccines to fight the new Omicron strain. However, those new vaccines are expected to be done and ready after the holidays. In San Jose, I'm Adrian Soriano, Update News.
Now a follow-up on the story we first warned you about in October, catalytic converter theft. Now Southern California police have made a major bust, recovering hundreds of the stolen smog control devices. Reporter Rodri Smith has the story.
These thefts are easy money for the thieves. As we now move into the holiday season, law enforcement officers worry thieves might get busier.
Take a look. This is what Fontana police officers recovered from a home in Rancho Cucamonga. Hundreds of stolen catalytic converters. The officers acted on a tip. Not only did they find whole converters, but others had been cut into pieces so the thieves could recover precious metals.
There was around 280 catalytic converters in whole, but then there were large vats of platinum, gold, and rhodium. And those are the 3 particular items inside of a catalytic converter that are worth money.
Officer Gill says police arrested several people, but the owner of the home had already taken off, leaving lots of cash behind. This was a big bust, but it's likely just one operation. Officer Gill says catalytic converter thieves are getting better and faster.
Catalytic converter theft, though, is just rampant in our area. People say it takes about 5 minutes. That's going to be incorrect. We have videos where thieves are stealing catalytic converters on video at like Rite Aid or a supermarket where we watch them. And on average, it's 30 to 60 seconds. They are extremely fast.
Although this is a fast and easy job for thieves, police say there are some things you can do to protect yourself. Put your vehicle identification number or VIN on your catalytic converters. In case police recover it, they can track you down. Park in a well-lit area. Look to see if there are any surveillance cameras nearby. They may deter the thieves.
And if you see something, say something. Remember, it was a tip to the police that helped shut down the theft rings. In Southern California, Rodri Smith, Update News.
President Joe Biden has authorized the release of a record of 50 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. It's an effort to bring down gas prices, but experts caution it may take a while to see that move trickle down to cheaper prices at the pump. Gas is so expensive, some are even giving up their cars. Samantha Dietz has that story.
California has the highest gas prices in the country right now. There is some indication that they may start to trickle down, but the damage to California drivers' wallets may have already made its mark.
I just got gas 4 days ago and it was $4.99 a gallon for super. None of this makes sense, folks. I've stopped driving.
Yeah, this is about as high as I can remember gas prices being. And, you know, I think like everybody else, it takes its toll.
Anthony Kawamoto, an 18-year-old hospitality major at SJSU, made the difficult decision last month to give his car back to his parents. He says the cost of gas and maintenance on his car was just too expensive.
Like around here, because it's like the minimum wage is around $16.50, right? And then like at some places I'm seeing it's getting up to $5, $6 a gallon. When you look at it, that's a third of your hourly paycheck going to gas.
Kawamoto also works as a water polo coach at Menlo Atherton High School, where he says his daily commute round trip was 40 miles a day, averaging out to nearly $70 every time he filled his gas tank.
I lost money working. I think I lost money. Like I was looking at the numbers and like without going into specifics, like I think I ended up paying to coach these kids. Like it wasn't like in order for me to coach, I think I ended up losing more money than I did gaining it. I guess you could say I'm almost in debt because of gas.
Kawamoto says he now takes public transportation to get to and from his destinations, and that while it's still money out of his own pocket, it's still more affordable than paying for gas. I'm Samantha Dietz, Update News.
And now we have Joshua Gilliman with the Bay Area rain totals so far for the season.
Hi, this is Joshua Gilman. Welcome to the climate change segment. A dry finish to November and a dry start to December are concerning for dealing with our ongoing drought. And we're starting to see those changes in the rain totals since October 1st for this water year. A record rain-producing storm on October 24th was followed by more storms into early November, which brought the entire Bay Area well over average rainfall for this time. But notice how many areas, especially south of San Francisco, are starting to see those gains fade. December typically is the second wettest month of the water year for the Bay Area, so the current dry weather pattern is especially unwelcome as the region continues to deal with extreme to exceptional drought. November through February are typically the wettest months for the Bay Area and help to produce the most snow for the Sierras.
When we come back, a combo stable diaper service, and now it's helping the environment.
President Biden is opening the oil reserves, but is it enough? More to come after the break.
The estimate is that a baby goes through 5,000 to 6,000 diapers before they are potty trained. You can understand why parents rely on disposable diapers, but they aren't exactly environmentally friendly. Reporter Jared Liu explains the advantage of using composable diapers.
Disposable diapers are convenient, but they do not biodegrade. More than 3 million diapers end up in landfills every single year.
Some parents are becoming more mindful of where their baby's disposable diapers wind up, but they're looking for some other way than using cloth diapers. So what's the alternative? Some are turning to compostable diapers. Some of those diapers go back to the earth. How does that work? The company Earth Baby explains it this way.
So what they do is they shred the diapers, cover them in soil, put them in these big bags called ag bags. They're basically agriculture bags, and it acts like almost like a greenhouse effect in these ag bags. The soil is aerated, so it's allowing air to hit the soil, which helps break down all the materials. And then the sun is hitting the bag, which makes the bag heat up to 150 degrees. And it's consistently done, which is the sweet spot. You want it to be consistent so that everything, all the bacteria and E. coli and anything in the poop is killed in order to make a safe soil.
The company says the composted soil is sold commercially as a blended topsoil and used for landscaping, sod growing, and roadside planting projects. For convenience, some of the companies will even come to your home to pick up the used compostable diapers. But beware, if you're going to invest in buying the eco-friendly diapers, you have to make sure you know what happens to them, even if they're labeled compostable.
If you were to put them in the green bin, they're just going to take that entire green bin of compost, including the diaper and whatever else was in there, and put that in the garbage and put it in a landfill. So
There is little regulation, so you have to be aware of what these diapers are actually labeled. Not all diapers are made equal. In San Jose, Jared Liu, Update News.
Chances are you know someone has battled breast cancer. It can be devastating, especially when you lose someone you love. But spending time with survivors and hearing their stories is therapeutic. I found that out firsthand.
These days, it's pretty rare not to know someone who has struggled with breast cancer. An estimated 1 in 8 women will develop invasive breast cancer in their lifetime. Lucia Herrera is a 2-time survivor. Her cancer came back in 2016.
The second dose of my chemotherapy caused my hair fell off, so I asked my husband to shave them. I was crying that time because of the thought that I might die and leave my beautiful family. God works in many different and mysterious ways. He listened and healed me. I survived for 12 years.
Herrera says breast cancer gave her a better perspective on what matters. She was able to renew her appreciation for the people in her life. Chelsea Chua is a 22-year survivor, but she says it was tough going when she was first diagnosed.
I got sick with this dreaded disease. So I want to hide. I don't want them to see me. I even said, "There's no God. Why me?" So my husband was so good enough, and he talked to me. And he said that God loves me. Because if I got sick beforehand, maybe he could not bring me to a better doctor. I survived it.
Both survivors says it was their faith that gave them the strength to fight a life-changing chronic disease. They learned some important lessons. Life can be short and full of unexpected challenges, but you can't give up. It is a lesson I'm learning too. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer last year. We recently lost her. She fought hard, but the treatments just didn't work.
I'm okay. Everything's gonna be okay, I hope.
What I'm learning from these survivors is to value each day, make it count, and don't give up. They are truly inspirational. And now back with this week's weather, Joshua Gilman.
Overlooking the Bay Area for the next week, we're going to be seeing slightly warmer than normal conditions going into the weekend, with gustier conditions perhaps coming on Monday and Tuesday, with also just a slight chance of showers coming to early next week. If we look at the future cloudcast, we see that there's some partly cloudy skies into the weekend, clearing on Sunday, but as we get into Monday into Tuesday, we see all that cloud cover coming from the north. And as we see, as the overcast cloud conditions persist, most of the rain is to the very north, to the maybe East Bay. Looking at the future precipitation outcast, we see that most of the Bay Area is really hardly going to get anything. Maybe Livermore might be getting about 1/100 of an inch, but really pretty much nothing for the rest of the Bay. Looking at wind gusts for the Bay Area, we see that the winds are going to shift from southerly to northwesterly, with most of the wind gusts being along the coast per usual. San Jose area, about 14-mile-per-hour gusts, not too bad. Now, looking at the 7-day forecast, starting with Santa Cruz, they're going to be seeing pretty sunny and mild conditions throughout the week, with highs in the mid-60s, lows in the mid-50s, with those windy conditions coming about Monday and Tuesday. San Francisco, they're going to be seeing really similar conditions, with highs consistent about the mid-60s, lows in the mid-50s, and most of the cloud cover coming into the early next week. Oakland will be seeing lows a little bit chillier in the mid-40s to upper 50s, and the lows will be just right around 45 degrees. And finally, in San Jose, they're going to be seeing those windy conditions Monday and Tuesday, with just some slight cloud cover Monday and Tuesday, with the highs going into the upper 60s, and the lows will actually begin in the mid-50s, but taper off into the mid-40s as we go on next week, as winter approaches closer. Alrighty, that's the 7-day forecast for the Bay Area. Everyone have a happy holiday season, and that's look out for the rain and wind that's going to come early next week. Joshua Gilman, Update News.
And when we come back,
the SJSU men's basketball team and what went down in their game against the South Dakota Coyotes.
And when we come back, we'll have a rundown for this week's sports. Stick with us.
At San Jose State University,
we discover who we want to be. For ourselves,
for our families, for our communities.
Different and unexpected.
Begin here.
At the heart of a transforming valley, in a city that is tough and beautiful.
We are Spartans.
What powers us changes our world.
The San Jose State men's basketball team is now 3-0 at Provident Credit Union Events Center after a win on Tuesday against the South Dakota Coyotes. The San Jose State men's basketball team defeated South Dakota for their third straight win at home by a score of 61-52. The Spartans went off and running, taking a quick 10-point lead in the first 5 minutes. And they would not let the foot off the pedal, with a solid 33-22 lead at the half. Even the SJSU Jazz Band came out for tonight's game. The Spartans kept the pace of play in the beginning of the second half, but the Coyotes began to claw back. But after a regroup, San Jose State lit up the hoop, sealing their Tuesday night win.
We're very pleased to get the win tonight against South Dakota. I thought we had some strong performances early in each half that kind of got us out in front. It's true, like it's always good to win, and you've got plenty to improve on. We did enough right things for long enough periods of time to come out with a victory.
And now this week in sports. The men's basketball team won in another game-winning shot at home against Northern Colorado 75-74 and had a more controlling win at home against North Dakota 61-52 on Tuesday. The team is undefeated at home with a season record of 3-3. Sophomore guard Omari Moore leads the team with 80 points. The women's basketball team dominated the Academy of Arts 62-49, but then fell to St. Mary's 79-71. The Spartans now sit at 3-4, and junior guard Ella Ogier leads the team with 89 points. The men's football team was defeated by the Fresno State Bulldogs 40-9 on Thanksgiving. The team finished with a losing record of 5-7 and will not be granted a bowl game. Women's volleyball's fantastic season came to an end in the first round of the Mountain West tournament against Boise State 3-0 in 3 sets. The team completed the season 19-10 and 13-5 in the Mountain West Conference and have a season to remember for next year.
This is the last full week of classes here in SJSU, and with the new Omicron COVID variant spreading globally, we asked our Spartans if this affected their plans for the winter break. Here's the state of the Spartan.
To be honest, no. I mean, obviously, like I try to pay attention to the news and what's going on, but at the same time, like, it's not like until it gets like to the point where it's like, you know, people aren't doing like normal things. I feel like right now things are open enough to the point where you don't need to, or like no one's like canceling traveling necessarily at the moment from what I'm seeing. So yeah, personally, not a ton.
The new COVID variant, yes, it has. It's kind of affected the way I want to travel. I planned on going to Colorado, maybe Canada to go snowboarding as well. But now that that's coming out, I'm kind of thinking, do I really want to travel there now, or should I just wait and see till there's more information on it? So yeah.
Like I said, we don't plan on going anywhere. We plan on staying home for the winter break with, like, you know, just first cousins, no outsiders kind of thing, just to keep it safe, because we want to make sure that everyone's healthy, especially with the elders in my family.
I guess it hasn't, because I got my booster shot a few weeks ago, so I feel pretty safe. And I also always wear my mask indoors everywhere I go. And I'm wearing it right now. I'm outdoors, so I guess I wear it everywhere I go, so I feel pretty confident about that. But yeah, it's still scary, and we still like don't have a whole grip on it. You know, I think it's like, what is it, 59% of Americans are vaccinated, which is not enough. So it's frustrating, because all of us, you know, I think at this university and this like campus and this city, like people are vaccinated, we care about this, but there's other places where people aren't, you know, as knowledgeable, or they don't have the ability to get the vaccine. So they have the ability, but they don't have the knowledge to see that it's safe. So it's really frustrating.
And now look at the week ahead. Come support the San Jose State Jazz Orchestra Band at Cool Yule. This festive jazz concert will feature sounds from holiday favorites. This event is being held on Tuesday, December 7th in Hammer Theater at 7:30 p.m.
Worried about the challenges to come while pursuing your master's degree? Attend tips and tricks for graduate students. Learn ways to help better manage your time, stay organized, and relieve stress. This virtual event is on Thursday, December 9 from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m.
It's that time of the year again. Finals begin next week, starting December 8th through December 14th. We're in the home stretch, Spartans, so study up, and before you know it, it'll be winter break. And that does it for this week's edition of Update News.
For all of us here, thanks for joining us, and we will see you next semester.